That was supposed to take about 10 minutes. We went a little bit longer than we wanted to. Actually, the site's already built. We're not going to look at that right now, though. I'm going to show you some other stuff that I wanted to cover before we do. But all right, what's the name? Nintendo Wii Review, plural or singular? Nintendo Wii Reviews blog.com. It's actually been up for a while. Now they're working on the data feeds. We didn't have an internet connection. The internet connection's back up, so they're extracting the data feed, which only takes a couple of minutes. We're getting the Amazon.com. Do we already have the open ad server set up? Rotating Amazon and AdSense? Okay, so basically it's ready to go. So we'll touch base on that later. We just want to move ahead right now. Okay, as I said earlier, first part, we needed to get that 10-minute thing out of the way that took an hour or whatever it took. We need to get it out of the way so I can show you guys some of the stuff that we're doing and we're going to do this weekend. I also want to review the manual and tell you all about what Get More Traffic Blueprint is all about. So at the beginning, I'm sorry I tried to be vague and I kept recommending that you look at the videos because we're trying to move forward. And all that stuff is literally in the videos for you, step by step. Me talking in the microphone, not my assistant. He did one or two of them. But I take you through my research tools and I give you my thought process. And if you have questions, that's what we're here for. We'll answer them all. And I'm going to do right now, I only have 45 minutes. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that we do, some of the ideas. And everything I show you, we're going to go into much greater detail this weekend. I just want to let you know what's coming up. And then after this weekend's over, we still have 6 months in the site itself. So in your manuals, if you haven't had a chance left, you look at the manuals. We have 220 pages of our content. That's in addition to the speaker slides that are in there. So it's 220 pages of step-by-step process maps for beginners. Because one of the feedback items we got from the attendees before they came in is that a lot of them were beginners. Plus, they also want this stuff for their outsourcing people. So when I need something done in my office, I have to fill out a form, and I have to give it to the guys, and then they do it, and they do it, and they give it to someone else. One of the guys who does one of my primary functions wasn't in the office. I said, I need you to do this job. He's like, well, how do I do it? I go, grab the process map. And he did, and he's done. It's the same stuff we're giving you guys, the same exact stuff. So you can hand it to your assistants or use it yourself to walk through the stuff step by step. In the manual, the feedback we got was some of the beginning stuff. You want the stuff, you're here with me, you can ask me questions you want. So if you got higher end questions you want to ask them, I'll answer them. I'm going to walk you through all the sites that we've set up, different things that we're doing. We've got the speakers for you this weekend. So don't think you're not going to understand it. I don't want this to be a step-by-step weekend. Doesn't mean we won't answer the questions for you. My staff's here. I will during breaks. But I can't do it because it won't possibly fit in 3 days. That's why we have the membership site. That's why you've got 220 pages just from us alone. If you've looked at those, has anyone looked at the process maps that are in there? The stuff? They're pretty detailed. I mean, literally, sat in front of the computer and said, this is step 1, this is step 2. We standardize them as much as we can. We're going to refine them. We use them ourselves. And I can literally hand them to my assistants that are in the office. And if they've never done the job before, they can do the job using the very same process maps we're giving to you. Not just this weekend, but throughout the whole event. So that's what's in that manual right there. When I show you stuff up on screen, I bore myself when I look at PowerPoints. I don't like to speak with a PowerPoint. In fact, I normally don't even have a PowerPoint ready before I get on stage because I'm much more extemporaneous. I don't like PowerPoints. I understand you guys are going to have questions, and I want you to ask the questions. When you ask the questions, raise your hand first so we get a microphone on it, because you guys get copies of these DVDs too. So you're going to want to hear what everyone else is saying when you get home, and the only way we can do that is if you grab the microphone. So if you have a question, stop me anytime you want. That's what we're here for. That's why we kept it small. I didn't do a big launch. There was no big JV thing. There wasn't any video sequence thing coming out on it for a reason. We normally have these events just for my clients, and we normally keep them less than 50 because it is very interactive. So if you want to stop me, go ahead. But raise your hand, please, so we can get a microphone to you. Please keep in mind also, just because I make a reference to an RSS feed doesn't mean you need to know about it right now. Everything that you need to know is already made for you. Anything I'm going to cover here is pretty much already set in stone, in writing, in your video discs or in your manuals that you can literally train. You can hand it to your assistant and they can do some of the work. The SEO tweaked blog installation, it takes 2 minutes. That's all you got to know. Just load up some PHP files. Anthony did it for you. He even gave you a video how to do it. If you need an ad network, he shows you how to do it. It takes 8 minutes to install it. It's free. It's enterprise class. We have run millions. I used to run that thing, millions and millions of hits in a month. And it was a free piece of software. It's a great piece, and that was years ago. They've improved this thing over and over again, and now it's killer. It's much better than ever was, and we've upgraded some of our networks with it too. The old one was fine, but this one's even better. OpenAds.org. Yep. It's free. One thing is I donate when I use free tools. They're static if you give them $5. I give them 50, 100. So OpenAds.org is an open source software. They get supported by donations. Some of the tools that I'll recommend to you this weekend are free. I personally make donations when I use free tools. I mean, if I stop by and use it one time, no. But if it's part of my business, I'm going to make a donation. I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. Fair enough? Okay. So we'll do that. So let's get the ball rolling. Stuart makes fun of me because he likes to sit in the back until I start getting rolling. The first part was supposed to be that. So the site's already up and running, but I don't want to look at it right now because I want to move through some of this other stuff. But that's how quickly you guys can do this. Using the exact tools we already gave you, in the same time frame, you could have your own site ready to go, including the content from Amazon, the data feeds, the RSS content that's going to build it automatically. You can have the site up with a customized WordPress theme. You can have your Amazon links ready to go. You can have your Amazon ID tracking links in there. You can have your AdSense code generated. We didn't do any of that. Felt like here I was on stage, and they're fighting a slow, really slow internet connection in the back. So if you got broadband at home, Anthony can do it in probably 15, 20 minutes. And you can outsource everything. And outsourcing, let's talk about that. We use people for different individual jobs. I've got a team of programmers dedicated 100% to developing Facebook applications in India. We've used multiple different programmers that we pick up, and I've talked about that many times, how to pick it up. But for general office work, I generally prefer to have my own staff. I've got 6 or 7 people in my office building, and I have at least as many outside of my office building that work for me and have worked for me for years. Just because I grew up in a corporate environment, and I like walking into somebody's office and saying, I need this now. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Change it. You can't do that when your team's working overseas at a different time schedule. But most of the stuff can be outsourced, and we've outsourced it for our different companies. We used traffic assistance to not a great success. I will be the first to tell you that overseas. We no longer use them. We have tried contacting agents of value because I want to set you guys up with all the training you need for outsources to do all the work for you, because what I've always said is use the leverage of other people and technology. That's how I do it. I scale things out. I think big, I work big, and I scale it out and try to work as little as possible for myself. So one of my friends who has 2.3 million people on his email list, and they're highly focused emails, by the way, and they weren't done with all this other, now you can't say joint registration. Who's Rick Del Rio, by the way? All right, Rick.